Faded in the city with my team, smoking, drinking, doing our own thing. Tell me what you into, what you bring. We gon' be a problem, cause a scene. We ain't never going home. We'll be raging till the morning. We ain't never going home.
Today couldn't have been on air in 1989.
Because back then it was more strict?
No, nothing to do with that. People spoke better. People had, I don't know what it was.
Passion?
I don't know, maybe something in the air that doesn't exist any longer, but I mean, not just the passion. People still have a lot of passion, but the standards, I think that, like, I don't know where to start. Education is part of it. I mean, education in the country itself has dipped. So that invariably will affect all other spheres of life, including the standard of broadcasting.
So what do you think can be done? Because we still have people like you around, which is a good thing. But what do you think can be done to help, take it back to what it was? Like
what it's supposed to be.
What it ought to be.
Well, I guess they'll have to start with the NBC. I'd rather they, pay more attention to standards instead of chasing people playing songs that they think shouldn't be on air or videos that shouldn't be on air. I think they should pay more attention on standards, quality of broadcasting. Thank you for having me here.
It must have been like yesterday when you were, on duty, doing your thing, talking, and setting the standard, the pace for those of us who, were dreaming of coming on air to be on-air presenters, continuity announcers and so on.
Well, basically, I wouldn't even say it feels like yesterday, because I still do what I do, or what I have done for over 30 years now. The last time I was on the air was probably just a few hours ago. However, on a different frequency. But the last time I was here was almost 20 years ago, and it's really, really nostalgic coming in here and looking around. I was walking up the stairs with Seyi Martins, and we were just kind of reminiscing about how things were then, what it was like on and off the radio. So that was my yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, so what changed? In your perspective, you said you've been doing it for like 30 years.
36 precisely.
36. Some of us are not that old. Okay, so just to bring that into perspective.
Some of us were lucky. We started as young teenagers. Some of us were still in school, actually. High school, actually, when we had our first shot at the mic. So I don't know if that still happens. If you have people that young who still do, because I do know that, for instance, on Silverbird, besides being part of maybe some kind of kiddie presentation, you've got to be qualified before you go on air, and not just that, with a certificate, and you probably won't get that when you're 15, 16. When we started Seyi, the likes of Seyi, myself, Fred Ashodi, and a few others at the time. Yeah. You asked me what's different, right?
Yes, I'm curious to know.
Well, equipment is different, right? Technology is different. Technology has moved on, in leaps and bounds from the 80s and 90s, and then there were turntables. Nobody uses that any longer anyway. Nobody does.
Everything is digital now.
There were turntables. No, even later on there were digital turntables, but nobody uses that any longer. Not even the DJs. Even if for them to have the feel of vinyl, they use the Soretto whenever they have to. The DJs. So the equipment is a lot different. The consoles are a lot smaller, more effective. The microphones are better. The technology generally is a lot better than it was then. I am privileged to have grown with technology and have moved every inch, with technology since when I started to this very moment. So things are a lot different. And one thing that is different that I'm not happy about is the standard of broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
That has nosedived. I can tell you categorically that 75% of the people on radio today couldn't have been on air in
In our
1989.
Because back then it was more strict.
No, nothing to do with that. People spoke better. People had, I don't know what it was. I
Passion.
don't know, maybe something in the air that doesn't exist any longer. But I mean, not just the passion. People still have a lot of passion, but the standards. I think that I mean, like they're just. I don't know where to start. Education is part of it. I mean, education in the country itself has dipped, so that invariably will affect all other
Everything
spheres
else,
of life.
Yeah.
Including the standard of broadcasting.
So what do
That's true.
you think can be done? Because we still have people like you around, which is a good thing. What do you think can be done to help take it back to what it was, like
What it's supposed to be.
what it ought to be?
Well, I guess they'll have to start with the NBC. I'd rather they, pay more attention to standards instead of chasing people playing songs that they think shouldn't be on air or videos that shouldn't be on air. I think they should pay more attention on standards,
Quality.
the quality of broadcasting. Staff of
the Nigeria Airways in those days.
And I had my connects in New York and in London, where I was getting my music from. So I got music pretty fast, faster than most people did at the time. It's a lot easier now because all you really need to do is go on the internet.
And then download and pray that you don't get to face piracy charges and everything.
Sure.
It's really amazing what technology helps us to do lately in terms of circulating songs, getting materials and everything. But it still boils down to the skill and what you mentioned earlier on, the ability of the individual to bring to life things that would appear dead without that voice, and that is something that I'm looking forward to doing more and more, because I would say I have a long way to go and more years to do much more. Even if I get to do other things later on, I would still like to be on air to do a thing or two. All right, so and I also like to ask you to pick the next song, but before we do that, and let me ask you, who was your role model?
Big one.
I don't think I really had any. It was just me.
Just how
Yeah,
did you do it? Like, how did you
I didn't really look up
come up with your
broadcasting
style and
before I got in. But I had done some stuff at a very early age in England. Actually, I was in a television program from age 4 to 11. It was called the 1 O'Clock Gang. It was on BBC, and that was what I could actually refer to my first experience. But I never thought I was gonna end up in broadcasting. I mean, most of us, funny enough, if they want to tell the truth, when we actually started, it was more like passing through. I mean, like,
and then you got
and
you got stuck.
You just get hooked in it like crack. But don't smoke crack though. I mean, okay,
Please don't.
Okay, is it true? I've heard something like you accompanied a friend for an audition and then you were picked.
I've said that story so many times that I'm even bored of having to. Yeah, that's actually true. I brought someone along. He wanted to, and I think it was Maris Agata. Yeah, Maris Agata was I think it was head of presentation at the time. Okay. And it was through Rosalind Ogbangoro, who became Rosalind Oguro, and I brought the guy along. I was meant to go back to the U.S. and so I brought him along and introduced him to Maris and said, "Who's the audition for you or him?" I said, "No, it was for him." He said, "No, you got to do it as well." I said, "Okay, for the heck of it, no problem. It won't kill me." So the other guy had his done. and there were some other people. Apparently, it must have been some day that was scheduled for auditions. So he gave me a script. I didn't even have enough time to even go through the script. After I started reading like 15 seconds, and I just said stop. And he was like, "Where did you grow up?" So I told him, I said, partly in the UK, partly in the US. Oh, I said, no, you got to work with us. I said, I didn't plan on doing that, but okay, I can just give it a shot, while away the time, and that was it.
Okay, certainly, you must have been part of a panel at some point or another, several panels, as a matter of fact. Have you come across anybody that caught your attention so quick, the way you caught the attention of
many? I may not be able to recollect the names, but many.
a lot of people?
Yeah. There's a lot of talent. There's always been. There still is. We're just that some people don't stay on long enough. Some of the great voices of the past, and he can attest to that. The likes of Akinyemi, for instance, they were great.
Wow.
They were fantastic guys. Fred Oshodi, they were fantastic guys. But they left after about a year and a half.
For something else?
Something else, yeah. That's what I was trying to explain to you earlier, that most of us, even then, we just saw it as a transition period.
Yeah.
It was something we're passing through. None of us, including the Patrick Doyles, the BCs and the Mannies, was just like, well, this is something we could hang on to for now.
Do it and move on.
And then some of you all
yes.
got stuck, stayed back
Some
and
stayed back.
stayed longer.
Some went into some other areas, such as advertising, for instance.
All right, you mentioned a lot of things you do. Before I let you go, I'd like to ask if you were to add something else to what you do right now, what would you add?
I got my hands full. I'd rather, offload some things I do instead of add.
I was referring to like maybe hobbies
Oh, yeah.
that could turn out to be also
Hobbies, I
investment.
do a lot of weightlifting. I do a lot of weightlifting. I have a gym at home on a daily. I do a lot of boxing, not
boy.
competitive boxing, because I'm a keep fit freak.
You
Yeah.
look like someone who's in the security protocol kind of. You're clean shaven. You look like a military man.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, because you're clean shaven. I don't think I recall any time ever I saw hair on your face.
No, I just don't like outgrowths. Basically, I just don't really like that. Yeah, that's just me. I have a bohemian style. It's just my style. You know what I mean? Now, okay.
All right, thank you so much for dropping
Yeah,
by.
thank you
It's
for
really,
having me here.
really awesome having you in the house. And I hope to see you again soon. Because we're going to be having the celebration big time pretty soon. We're going to be 40 and definitely. Am I getting your consent that you're going to be around?
Around.
He's
For-
not running away.
for
but
the
definitely,
celebration.
Definitely.
No, I live here in Lagos. No problem.
All right, awesome, awesome. We have been for a very long time, and it's really huge. You get to hear more from him, and God help us, we're going to be celebrating our 40th year in the business. Metro FM 97.7. He is one of those who started out the station, and of course we have in the house veteran broadcaster as well.
Because Jacob is on, does that make me veteran? Well, we're still on together anyway.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But that means I'm going to drag you down to join me on the cafe one of these days.
Well, always here.
All right then.
Always around.
Thank you very much. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up on the cafe. Big shout out to my producer, Tony Ahikwe. We also have Yomi Odeniro Atomic A in the building. I'm Sunday Imonah. Stick around. The news comes up shortly on the network service. Don't touch it. Remember, we got you covered all the way.
I like this atomic thing.